examples of derived unit. Okay, till now we have discussed mainly the SI units and then derived units. Now further derived units we are discussing. For example, area, it's a derived unit, that is length into breadth, that is meter into meter. So symbol will be meter square. Similarly, density, if we take density unit, it's a derived unit. What is the formula for density? Mass per unit volume. This is our density. What is the unit of mass? Kg. What is the unit of volume? Volume again is the derived unit. So it is meter cube. So kg per meter cube, or we can write kg meter raised to power minus 3. Kg into meter per meter cube. This is clear? Okay, let me put the battery charger. Okay. Yes. So these all are the derived units. Okay. For example, pressure. What is the unit for pressure?
Pascal.
It's Pascal. That's fine. Okay. But how you define pressure? Force per unit area. Force applied per unit area. That is pressure. What is the unit of force? Force is again a derived unit. Force is again a derived unit. Mass into acceleration. Acceleration again a derived unit. Meter per second square. Mass kg. Kg meter per second square. Or we can say force unit we have taken Newton. Newton area meter square. Newton per meter square. Or again Newton is what? Kg meter per second square. Force unit. Okay, this is how these all are derived units. We have derived units, we derived from the other units. Okay, this is clear. Now some guidelines how we write the units. That is some restrictions or conditions on, or some rules to be followed while we write the unit. Okay, for example, if the unit is not named after a scientist, unit not named after a scientist. Okay, if a unit is not named after a scientist, then for example meter, it is not named after a scientist, so its symbol will be small letter m. The symbol will be small letter m. Similarly, kilogram, it is as well not named after a scientist, so its symbol will be small kg, not capital letter. Okay, so if the unit is not named after a scientist, its symbols will always be small letters. Symbols will always be small letters. Okay, now if unit named after a scientist, named after a scientist. Okay, if unit is named after a scientist, here not named, here unit named after a scientist. When it is named after a scientist, give him one example. Newton.
HR Hertz.
Hertz, okay. Newton, so its symbol will be capital letter. Okay. If the unit not named after a scientist, always small letter. If named after a scientist, so symbol will be capital letter. Hertz, symbol will be capital Z, H, Z. Or Pascal's, Pascal as well, PA. So you can see first letter is capital when unit is named after a scientist. Now third, whether the unit is named after a scientist or not after the scientist, whether it is named or not, if we are writing complete name, that is meter, it will be small letter. Pascal, it will be small letter. If we are writing the complete unit, it is always to be written in small letters. That is first letter as well to be small letter. Understood? So only capital only when the unit is named after a scientist, then the symbol is capital letter. Symbol first letter will be capital. So in rest all cases, it will be always small letters. Understood? So only one case, that is when the unit is named after a scientist, then the symbol's first letter will be capital. That's all. Understood? So first 3 points are clear. Next is compound unit. Like An example is given in your book, torque. Torque unit is Newton meter. So it is a multiplication of force into distance, perpendicular distance, Newton dot meter or Newton. It can be represented like this or like this or Newton, little bit space, Newton meter. Understood? Compound units like this. Okay, negative powers of compound units, how they are going to represent. For example, speed. What is speed? Distance upon time, meter per second, or meter per second, or meter raised to power minus 1. So negative power. Denominators goes to negative power. They are compound units, meter into second. That is second raised to power minus 1. Okay. Now unit in short. Okay, 1 minute. Okay. Okay. For example, when we have units in plural, for example, we are having 10 meters. 1 meter, we write it like this. 10 meters, 10 meters. But when we write the symbols, 1 meter symbol will be 1 meter. 10 meter symbols, this is wrong. We cannot add s. Symbols, unit, that is symbol will be always a singular, meter. This is meter into second. Okay, always remember, whether it's plural, it is always written a symbol that is without s, without putting s, not in plural form. Okay. Now, so for example, we have added prefixes. For example, it is 1000 gram. So we can add prefix. Powers of 10 we can remove. 1000 gram it is. We can write 1 kg. By adding kilo, we can remove powers of 10. So prefixes we add. Now, for example, 10 raised to power 9 hertz. How we can write it? See here, if we write it like this, 10 raised to power 6 hertz, we can write it like this, okay? But 1 kilo megahertz. We cannot write it in this way. We cannot put two prefixes together. Always single prefix has to be there. So it has to be written as 1 gigahertz. Giga means 10 raised to power minus 9. 10 raised to power 9. 10 raised to power 9. Understood this one? So never write two prefixes. Single prefix only we can write. More than one prefix we cannot add. This is clear? And the last thing. So for example, we are adding prefixes. So meter we have added prefixes kilo. It will be kilometer. It is one term, kilometer unit. Now if we are taking square, okay, if you are writing square, it means this square is of kilometer, the whole square. Understood this one? That is when we are adding prefixes. Remember prefix we are adding. Okay, not two units. These are two different units. Here we are adding prefix. When we are adding prefix, and so it means it is a square of whole kilometer. That is 1 kilometer is how much? 1000 meters. So kilometer square will be how much? 1 kilometer square? It will be 1000 meter, the whole square. That is 4 kilo as well. It is square. 1000. That is 1 kilo. That is other kilo meter square. Understood? So when they are, for example, okay, square is taken, it is for the whole, that is kilometer square, not just meter square. Understood? With this we end the chapter. Okay, now you have to do one thing. From Monday onwards, exercise first day. We have exercise first day. Question answers are given. You have to find the answers. Okay, mark them, or if you are not getting anywhere, ask in class, or if the answer is like this, you have to frame the answer, then write it somewhere. Okay, so exercise first day, these question answers, it's up to you whether you want to write in notebook or not, but you have to find out the answers and you must know the question answers. The answers you must know. So first 10 questions first 10 questions, whenever we are having the next period, Monday onwards, I'll be asking few students. Randomly, I'll select the students I will ask. So you have to prepare first 10 questions. Okay? Prepare first 10 questions.
Sir, we have to write in notebook.
Question answers you don't have to write in notebook. Okay? You find it out and go through them. What answers will be, try to understand them and prepare answer. You can write in your own words if you want. So the thing is, you don't have to write any question in notebook. No answers you have to write. Okay, what you have to write are the numericals only. Only numericals you have to write in notebook. Okay. Again, the question, no need of writing. Just the solution you have to write. Numericals, this is clear. So open page number 10. Open page number 10. Okay, numericals are given. 7 numericals. Try to complete these numericals. Okay. If you don't get it, we'll be discussing in next period. Whenever we have next period, we'll be discussing these numericals. Okay, 7th I discussed at present. The distance of a star from Earth is 8.33 light minutes. Distance of a star from Earth is 8.33 light minutes. What does this statement mean? Anyone in class? What does this statement mean? The distance of a star from Earth is 8.33 light minutes. Okay. How you define light minute? Or how you define light year?
Distance traveled by light in 1 year.
Light in 1 year. Okay. Okay. And light minute?
Distance traveled
Light
by
level
light
in 1 minute.
In 1 minute. Okay. So 8.33 light minutes means?
8.33 light minute is traveled by light.
So it is means light distance traveled by light in how many minutes? 8.33 minutes. Understood? 1 light year means distance traveled by light in 1 year. 1 light minute, distance traveled by light in 1 minute. 2 light minute means distance traveled by light in 2 minutes. Understood this one? So it will be distance traveled by light in 8.33 minutes. Okay, so what does this statement mean? The distance of a star from the Earth is 8.33 light minutes. It means here we have the star, here we have Earth. So as light starts from the star, it will take how many minutes to reach Earth? 8.33 minutes. It will take 8.33 minutes to reach the Earth. So light from a star to Earth will take 8.33 minutes. Or light, time taken by the light to travel from a star to Earth will be 8.33 minutes. Understood this one? Now you can convert this into meter. That's you can do. Okay. Okay, we start with next chapter. Okay, from 9th Lily, we are lagging by 1 lecture. One holiday was there last time on 21st, I think. Because of that, we are lagging 1 lecture from 9th Lily. Okay. So do the numericals. If you have the doubt, ask in next class. We'll discuss them as well. Those numericals. These are easy, just conversion are there, so you can do. First B we are avoiding for time being. We'll be starting first C. Okay. In last year's syllabus, first B was avoided. So this year's syllabus, we'll wait for some days for them to tell the syllabus. Okay. Or else we will start first B afterwards. Okay. So we'll start with measurement of time. First B is related with measurement of length. First B, it is related with measurement of length. First C, it is related with measurement of time. Okay. How do we measure time? What is the instrument that is being used to measure the time?
Clock.
Clock. Okay. So again, okay, a clock. Okay. Earlier we used many ways we used to calculate time there. Okay. So here we are using simple pendulum. So we commonly use a pendulum clock. In that, one arm is hanging and it oscillates. It oscillates. That is, periodic motion is there. It repeats itself after a period. For example, this is the mean position, rest. Goes this side, goes back to the mean position, goes the other end at the resting position, come to the mean position, rest position. This is one complete oscillation. We'll be discussing these all. So using this periodic motions, we can calculate time as well. Okay. So we'll be discussing simple pendulum here. So how we can make a simple pendulum? A pendulum, since we are using pendulum, so this is our rigid support. We suspend a string. A string is being suspended, and one end it is attached to the rigid support. Other end we have a point mass. Okay, a point mass. This is very heavy. Okay, a very heavy point mass. Okay, whereas this string, what are the properties of this string must be? It must be massless and inextensible. Okay, what do you mean by massless?
No way. No mass.
No mass. Okay, is it possible to have a string to have no mass?
No, sir.
It's not possible in reality. Anything, any matter we have, that will surely have the mass. String is a matter, matter has mass. So this is our ideal case. That is, ideally, this how the pendulum should be. Ideally, this how the pendulum should be. That is, the string used, that must be massless. And it must be inextensible. Inextensible means it must not
Should not
change.
expand.
It should not change its length, should not expand or contract, should not change in length. That is as well not possible even. Okay, that is as well not possible, because we can select a string which have the least, but it will have some extensibility. That is, it has some, it can be extended to some form. It can be stretched or it can be contracted. Okay, can we have a point mass which is very heavy? Is it possible? Again,
No,
not
sir.
possible. It again not possible. So this is ideal case. This is the ideal case. Our simple pendulum should be how our simple pendulum should be. But in reality, what we get? Okay, we expected this one, but in reality, what we are getting? A string which has mass. So we have selected a string which have the least mass and which is little bit nearly next to impossible. Okay, if we can't get the perfect thing, we will go with the next to impossible thing. That is next to the perfection, just little bit less. That is possible. Okay, so we got now one sphere we attached. It is mainly made up of iron or brass or steel. Steel or iron or brass it can be. Okay, so this is a heavy metallic bob. This is heavy metal, made up of heavy metal. That is iron or brass. It is round shape. Now this metallic sphere, it is called as bob. Don't confuse it with Bob the Builder. It is this round, this spherical shape. This sphere is called bob. Okay, this is bob, and this is our string. This is in reality what we have got, the simple pendulum. Okay, now we'll discuss it, how we can use it to measure time. Okay, so before that we'll be discussing some more terms as well, and then we'll measure the time. So this is our pendulum. Okay, so few things we discuss. Okay, this is the simple pendulum. So what position is it? At present, what position? This is called as mean position. This is the rest position, or we call it as mean position. This is our mean position. That is Bob's simple pendulum's mean position. Now, if we hold it and take it on one extreme end, okay. For example, we have taken it here. Okay, extreme position. This is the mean position. This is its extreme position. That is, this is the maximum length. It can go far from the mean position. Okay. Now, if we leave it, what will happen? It will again go to the mean position, then to the other end. So this side as well, it will have extreme position. Okay, how they have marked? O, A, B. Okay, this is O, this is A, B. Okay, first they have taken this side, then to moving to this side. Okay, now see what is happening. This is simple pendulum. We hold the bob, take on one extreme position. Okay, so move this side. Now it will again come back to position, moves this side, then again comes to the mean position. This is one cycle. This is one cycle, that is moving to this side, coming back, moving to this side, coming back. This is one cycle, or this is called as one oscillation. So first term that we are discussing is oscillation. Compound pendulum we'll discuss afterwards. Oscillation means one complete to and fro motion. One complete to and fro motion. That is one complete cycle. Moving to that side, coming back to the mean position, moving to the other extreme position, coming back. Understood? So it moved like this, from this position to this one, coming back. Okay. Going this, coming back, going this side, coming back. So one cycle it did. Okay. Going back. Okay. This side, coming back, going this side, coming back. This is one cycle. Okay. It can be denoted as this one as well, from one end to the coming back to the same end. Yes or no? This is also one cycle. This is also one cycle. If we are starting from here, then coming back to the same position. If we are starting from here, going to the one extreme position, coming back. If we are starting from here, coming from here. If you are starting from middle, going there to the other side, coming back. These all are one cycle, one oscillation, one complete to and fro motion of the bob of the pendulum. Or bob of the pendulum, that is called as oscillation. That is one oscillation. One oscillation is one complete cycle, one complete to and fro motion. Understood this one? Oscillation. Oscillation is clear to everyone. Any doubt?
Yes.
So oscillation we have discussed. Second is time period. Okay, time period means how much time the pendulum is taking, how much time the bob is taking to complete the one oscillation. How
1
much time to
second.
complete one oscillation? No, 1 second. It can be any time period. So we denote that time period with T, and its unit is seconds. How much time a bob is taking to complete one oscillation? That is its time period. How much time taken to complete one oscillation? Okay, how much time it takes to move this side, then coming back. That is its time period. Okay. Third is frequency. Frequency means repetitions, like for example, you are moving to school and coming back. So for example, in a day, how many times you go to school or coming back? One time. Your frequency is one each day. Okay. Some student may have 2 or 3. So frequency, number of times it oscillates in 1 second. Number of oscillations in
1 second.
in 1 second. How many times it is making the cycles in 1 second? How many oscillation it is making in 1 second? Okay, and we can denote it with N or F, and its unit is what? Hertz or per second.
Hertz.
Okay. Now see here one thing here, how time period and frequency are related. Okay. Okay, we are taking time period first. Okay, I'm removing these all. Okay, time period, how time period was defined? Time taken to complete one oscillation. Time taken to complete one oscillation. That was the time period. Yes or no? So
Yes, sir.
in T seconds, how many oscillations it is making? If T is the time period,
Sir, your voice is not coming.
are you getting the voice?
Sir.
Other students?
Sir, your voice is
Yes.
coming.
Okay, Anshul, just mute me. Oh, okay, you can't mute. Okay, just check it once your connection. Okay, whenever it sounds robotic or different, just let me know. I'll ask the other students as well. If they are having the same issue as well, then I will reconnect it. Okay, the Bluetooth. Okay, now listen again. In t seconds, how many oscillation? T is the time period. Time period means time taken to complete one oscillation. That is the time period. Time taken to complete one oscillation. So in t seconds, how many oscillations the bob is making? One oscillation. Okay. Okay. And in what is the frequency definition? Number of oscillations in 1 second. Number of oscillations in 1 second. That is the frequency oscillation definition. So in 1 second, how many oscillations it will make?
1 upon t.
1 upon t, number of oscillations. 1 upon t, number of oscillations. And okay, so in 1 second, how many oscillations are there? 1 upon t. And this is the frequency. 1 upon t oscillations in 1 second. 1 upon t oscillations in 1 second. So 1 upon t is the frequency. Frequency is how much? 1 upon t. This is how they are related. Okay. And unit hertz or per second. How they are related time period? They are inversely related. They are inversely related. That is frequency equal to 1 upon t. If we know the time period, we can calculate frequency. If we know the frequency, we can calculate time period. Understood? This is very important as well.
Sir, time
Okay.
period over.
Time period. This is clear. Okay, two more things we'll discuss and we'll end then. Okay. Amplitude. What do you mean by amplitude? Amplitude is the
Displacement of
what kind of displacement? Is this
Maximum
like
displacement in any medium.
maximum displacement? Displacement is this as well. So that is the maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position. So this is amplitude. Maximum displacement of the bob on either side. This is maximum. This is same as this one. So from here to here, what is the displacement? That is the amplitude. Okay, its unit is meter. Okay, now effective length. So see here in calculations, we'll be taking the length. Which length we have to take? Effective length, that is its center of mass we calculated. For example, its radius is r. This bob's radius is r. And this length is L. What will be the effective length? L plus R. So in calculation, we'll be taking this. Till it is not given that we have to neglect radius of the bob, okay? In calculation, we'll be taking this. This is effective length. Effective length means length of the string plus radius of the bob. That is sent from center of mass of the pendulum. Center of mass of the bob will be calculating the distance up to the that one point where it is hanged. Okay. Or the point of suspension. Understood this one? Okay, measurement of time will measure time next time. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you. So on Monday onwards, first 10 questions I'll be asking. Randomly, I'll be asking the students. So prepare well and numericals as well complete. Okay. If you go doubt, you can ask. Okay. If you're having doubt, you can ask now.
Sir, why is the name of the weight is Bob?
Bob, I don't know. I have to search that one. Bob. Okay. Just wait a
Sir,
minute.
please check class.